Hello, y'all, and welcome to the fuck, bitch. I don't know what it. I shouldn't be swearing at the beginning of this, but it doesn't matter because
Um,
we're not getting monetized, so it's okay.
is this even an episode?
It is an episode. It is the
Oh,
12th or the 13th, but
love that.
just to preface this, Shannon and I were talking this morning on FaceTime for like an hour. We were talking about the previous episode, and then she got really funny on FaceTime. So we
Yeah.
said, let's actually set up the cameras and make a little bit of a lighter episode this week. Um, and oh yeah, this is an episode for the girls, the girls, the gays, the theys, the criminally insane, the mentally ill, the disabled, the neurodivergent, and we don't know what we're going to be talking about today, but we will be just just
Yipping and
just
yapping.
yipping, just yapping. Um, what I was saying to you, which I thought was funny, so like there's been this insane discourse about a and it leads into what I was saying I wanted to talk about on here, as there was like this discourse about this female boxer, okay, who I believe is intersex. She's female.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying she's like, dude, there's all this insane shit. She is not trans. They don't allow trans people, I think, where she's from in Algeria. I don't fucking know. All I know is J.K. Rowling was being a little cunt bitch about it, as she is, because she is very, very transphobic.
Yes.
So I'm bringing it up because in J.K. Rowling's, not current because she changed it, but in her previous like profile picture, it's her in her house, okay? But her previous one, like older one, shows her in her house and it looks like a house. And in this one, which was just recently changed after she got a lot of like hate online for it looks like there's insane black mold growing on the walls. Like when I say I'm going to pull up a photo and I'm going to show you,
Yeah, I gotta
and
see.
people are like, that's why she's fucking insane, and she's been going insane over the past few years and being like really transphobic because there's fucking black mold growing in her fucking house.
That is wild.
Black mold.
And I will say, like, okay, I know we briefly talked about it, but I almost lost my tit to what they thought was cancer, and it ended up being like mold related illness because I was also in a home with black mold and I just did not know. Well, I knew and I was trying to get them to get me the fuck out. But there was like a whole period where I did not know. And yeah, it made me feel like I had cancer. So I mean, I didn't go delirious and turn transphobic, but
No, that's definitely an
that's
interesting way
just
to
a girly
go.
pop thing, I suppose. It's
No, it
just
is.
her.
It's a billionaire. It's a billionaire Harry Potter writing girly pop thing. You have to actually be transphobic, apparently, if you are that. Um, but we were talking this morning, and you were saying some funny shit. It wasn't funny, but it was funny in the way like mentally ill, haha, hee hee. Um,
It's definitely funny. There's no way that you can like go through that shit and not laugh. Like,
but I think that you have to get to a certain point of uh mental illness to laugh at shit like this.
oh,
Like
correct,
you have to go through the trenches, so they say,
correct.
to get to a point where you're laughing at this type of shit.
Yeah, because I have told people, and they're like, and it's not usually the reaction. Usually, I'm like, okay. Usually, we're like hee hee and ha ha,
Yeah, why aren't
and
you guys hee
then
hee ha haing? What the fuck?
like I don't know. Like I told that story, like a couple of those stories, to this one girl that I used to work with, and she just was like, "Oh my god, Shannon," and I was like, "Okay, yeah,
I'm so
um,
sorry. It's always I'm
yeah,
so sorry,
we're never
never.
going down lore street again with you, babes. No, no, to the Black
Oh,
Mold home.
oh yeah, sorry.
I did
I
not
need to pull
forget.
this up.
I want to know.
Yeah, no,
I'm nosy.
it definitely looks like it's very criminal level black mold. Black mold, JK Rowling.
But hear
There's
me out.
hair. There's hair
How
on
do
the
you have
top
that
of
much
my.
money and like don't just move?
Huh? No,
Like, how do you have that much money and you don't just like pack up and move?
here's the thing. Like I, you know, it's funny because I had a month where I was making money, and we didn't talk about this on the last podcast episode because we didn't do the weekly check-in, but like
Yeah.
as you guys may or may not have known, my Instagram was taken away. She was disabled. She is no longer with us. And what I will say is that while money doesn't buy happiness, it also does, in the sense of when you're talking about like just like basic income, like being able to afford rent or therapy or blueberries in my case, like, but I think that when you get to a certain level of wealth, like there's only so much that can be done. Why is
Yeah.
I love this headline. Why is everyone calling J.K. Rowling Moldemort?
I'm so done.
So
Voldemort
so
is wild.
I don't know if you can see that correctly.
Yeah, I definitely see the shadow.
So it looks like, because she had like this same, not the same photo, but like her with the same background, and see the walls in the back,
Yeah.
it's giving black mold. And then it's also showing like me after I have tea at JK Rowling's house.
I'm so dead.
No, she's fucking, well, you know what, I yeah, she's fucking wild. For her to be like, we're gonna make Dumbledore gay but fuck trans people, is fucking crazy.
Absurd.
Not me looking at you and being like, what are you doing? Are you making, not me looking at you and thinking, are you making not making, I don't know even how you use these words anymore, because of Shannon was bent over, if you're watching or if you're listening to this without watching the video, and it looked like she was like making like lines, like drug lines. I was like, that's an interesting thing to be doing at this hour on this podcast.
You know, that would be crazy.
That
If I
would.
was gonna do lines, it would not be in front of you. I feel like that's really fucking rude. But I also am not a line girly. No disrespect to line bitches out there, but I'm not. This definitely is bold. I was looking up.
No,
I
because
wanted to see it with my own eyes.
you were like, actually, I need to see proof of the black mold. No, that's actually why my last friendship ended. Like, I find it so
Because
disrespectful.
yeah,
Not my last friendship, but that was like my one of my most important friendships ended, because the way that my one fucking rule for friends is, you don't do hard drugs in my presence, specifically fucking cocaine, which is my drug of choice.
yeah.
And homegirl really did that shit.
Or it's like if that's gonna be a problem, like
Just
just
wait.
don't hang out with me. Like it's
Yeah.
so very simple. Like, but that's the other thing too is I feel like depending on like the addiction, right? Like it depends on like
Oh,
how.
I'm not talking about my previous ex best friend, like my most recent. It wasn't
No, yeah,
her.
like I'm saying like
Yeah.
depending on how far her addiction is, right? Like
She
she could
wasn't
be
even
so
addicted. Like the way that, why the fuck are you literally doing cocaine at 33 when you're a retail manager? Just like, why the fuck am I saying willy nilly right now, bitch? I've said it twice in the past couple days. It's something I've
I
never
said
said.
willy nilly too though, so you could
I
have
think there's like a vernacular transfer between you and me, because now when I
yes.
read the word bitch, I read it as bitch. Like that's how
Also,
you
but
say
I
it.
read slay and I'm like slay,
No,
big slay.
well, I mean, as we should, but I think it's because, and if you like don't know now, you know, but like when Shannon and I became like, when Shannon and I met, because I was first her fitness coach. So
Correct.
like we kind of just transitioned into this podcast, and like we never really, like, we had our weekly check-in calls, but like we've never really like until recently started like FaceTiming and just like
Yeah.
talking. And we
Yeah.
started doing that well, it's what led to this podcast episode, because we were just talking about some funny shit. But you should talk about your mom, because
Oh yeah.
we were talking about our mental illnesses and how hard it's been, and we were comparing our situations kind of to how objectively like it's not as hard as what people of color go through, but it doesn't mean that our situations are still it doesn't invalidate our experiences.
Yeah.
But Shannon, I mean, both of our parents have had it rough. My mom definitely not as rough as your mom, but when I tell you that Shannon is a traumatized girl, and what an
Yeah,
interesting childhood.
downright, just like it's wild sometimes.
It's giving. She's gonna write a book one day, as will I. But
But it's
her
also giving,
mom.
like I said that when I was 6 years old. I was like, one day I'm gonna have to write a book because like I know that there's other like kids dealing with this shit and it's not fucking normal. And it's uh it's just like a guiding hand would have been nice.
A what? Oh, a
A
guiding
guiding
hand.
hand.
Yeah, well, the guy, well, you did have a guiding hand, and she said, "I'm going to push you out of this moving vehicle several times."
She
And
did.
she
Yeah.
was your mom.
Yep. She did do that a couple of times. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. That was actually the tidbit of information I told that girl at the bar. I was like, yeah, like it was bad. Like it's usually the reference I give people when I try to like cuz I'm someone who's very traumatic or traumatic. I am traumatic. I am traumatized, but I don't like to just dump lore like I used to be the
Can't
girl
relate.
who would like dump on random strangers
Yeah.
and slowly but surely I've gotten better with it and now I'm just closed off as hell. So but I told her that and she was like, "Oh my god." Like I could not imagine. And I was like, "Okay.
It's giving, you're not traumatized enough to be friends with me. I'm so sorry.
No, especially too cuz like obviously like hear me out. Was it shitty? Was it terrible? Yes. Was it confusing? Do I have a lot of shit to work through now? Yes. But like I'm here. I'm alive. Like a lot of more fucked up shit could have happened in the reality of it. But my mom is a very interesting character. She has yet to
Oh,
listen to this podcast.
oh,
Uh,
and thank God.
I just she's still on her own healing journey and I applaud her for that. I applaud her for the work that she's done. But like there
Yeah.
was a huge part in my childhood where like things were just like so insane. And I think we got on this topic because my mom is bipolar and schizophrenic. And then has a touch of PTSD and then like some substance like abuse disorders. Which is like expected with her like long-term usage of multiple different substances, but neither here nor there, which
Mhm.
could also contribute to some of the other things. But regardless, my mom had an affinity for auditory and visual hallucinations of like fires and snakes and leprechauns. The snakes and leprechauns often came together, which is very weird. And then like a lot of the times too, like there was one of the times that she actually pushed me out of the car. She was not trying to hurt me. She was trying to save me. And she had like saw, I guess, like a very tiny boy in the back seat who she thought was the devil, and they were arguing back and forth. And I was like, do you see my dog trying to, if you're not watching on video, my dog is like trying to get around the charger. And I already know this is not going to go well because he's not the smartest. Can you step over?
He said, "I actually
Well,
don't
he's trying to
understand what
steal
you're
my
saying to me,
goldfish,
mom."
little whore. But
You
anywho,
and your goldfish, the way that I fucking programmed goldfish into your fucking meal plan is crazy. Anyway,
I love, okay, I'm such a snack girly and it's so bad when you're like trying to reach fitness goals.
yeah. No,
It
but you know
was
what? It's great fast acting carbs though.
This is very true. I do like try to get like my favorite snacks in when I'm like
I said
getting
that's
ready
your
to the
snack
gym.
and you have it pre-workout. You and your little gummy worms.
Yes, I do
When you're
love gummy
here, we
worms.
need to go to Bulk Barn.
What is bulk barn?
Okay, so I actually haven't been there in years. And a little side note, I used to go to Bulk Barn all the time with my dad. And I remember one time, my dad is such a stingy fucking cunt bitch. And it's probably why I am the way that I am with finances. Well, like in the sense that I had like shopping addiction issues. So I'm so like far on the other side of it. But I think it's why I am the way that I am when I pay, when I like, if I ever pay people back money or whatever, like it's so, I'm very weird about it. But we would go all the time and like I would like to get candy so I could like sit and read and have like candy. But whenever I saw like other kids going to Bulk Barn, they got like big bags of candy. And
Yeah,
whenever I went to Bulk Barn with my dad, it was like if I wanted like two kinds of candy, it was like maybe like 4 or 6 pieces. Like it was really small amounts. And I remember one time we were at Bulk Barn and I I think like my candy was like 46 cents or something like that. Like that's how much it cost. And I didn't have all the money and he was like, "Remember, you owe me 11 cents." He
mm,
spotted me. Gordon said, "I'll spot you." We get home. He's like on the way, like we're driving. He's like, by the way, remember, you owe me 11 cents. And I'm like, okay, we get home. He's like, remember, 11 cents, go get 11 cents. And I was like, anyway, I don't know where the fuck I was going. Oh, Bulk Barn. It is
Yeah.
a place that sells candy in bulk. Also, side note, another side note, this is so ADHD. I found out because, as you know, I've talked about it on Instagram. I fucked myself over from eating too much gluten. And gluten is actually in everything, including lots of gummy worms.
Yes. Tasted
Uh,
it.
so so we're gonna have to be on the, as you like to say, up and up. And well, it's definitely that's not in the right context, but we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to be on lookout when we go to Bug Barn. But Shannon is coming here. That's the
Facts.
plan.
Yes.
She is gonna come in the fall so we can do like cutesy little Gatineau hikes. Um, but my mom is coming in a week and she's gonna be on the podcast. Anyway, that's the
I'm so
side note.
excited. I'm so excited. Also, I feel like the way in which that your dad like is probably like the main source of your like control. Like,
Issues?
yes, like that sounds
Do I have
terrible.
control
Like
issues?
I like hear me out. Like I know, like hear me out. I'm a very traumatized girly and like I've like my mom used to whoop the fuck out of me. Like when I say whoop, I mean like cruel and like unusual like punishment.
How did
But
she beat
regardless,
you?
like they never like did stuff like that. Like
What do you mean?
like pay me back like because like they were my like you know what I'm saying, like there was always like the expectation of like if my parents were buying me candy, like they were buying me candy, they were doing, you know what I'm saying, like
Well, it's like well, here's the thing. Like you grew up with your mother beating you and you getting pushed out of cars. I had my upbringing was like I was always very lucky. I'm also white, I'm privileged, and because of that, I've reaped the
yeah,
benefits of like having a childhood where my parents were able to like afford things for me.
yeah.
That being said, uh I will say it was a weird childhood. I will not lie. And it was very weird because the houses were so different in the sense that my parents divorced when I was like 6 or 7, and it was week on, week off. So I spent like 1 week with my dad, 1 week with my mom. And on my dad's house, it was at my mom's house, it was like so she was dating a murderer. So every weekend we'd go to a maximum security prison, but like at her house, it was like we'd go shopping, we'd have fun, we'd talk, we'd watch movies together, like we'd hang out. Um, and it was a lot more freedom. Whereas at my dad's house, it was like very controlled. He's very definitely autistic and very OCD. Shout
Yeah.
out to you, Dad, because I got both of those things and a plethora of other mental health issues. Digress. But it was like if I wanted to like take a shower, I'd have to let him know an hour and a half in advance. So he'd turn the hot water heater on and he'd time my showers. And if it was more than like 60 seconds to 2 minutes, he'd yell at me. He'd inspect how much shampoo I'd use. And if it was more than a dime size amount, he'd yell at me. If I wanted to like ever get anything out of the fridge or like he'd get mad at me if I opened the cupboards or if I grabbed myself a glass. Like I couldn't just open my own fridge and get a glass of like milk. He would do everything for me. If I wanted to watch like a 20-minute Arthur episode, I'd have to like read for an hour and a half or do like extra credit French and English book reports. Like he was very weird. And I do remember, I don't know if you've ever seen this is such weird true lore episode. I don't know if have you ever seen the movie Black Swan?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
well,
so.
in Black Swan, basically the mother is very like weird and controlling, and she's like watching her daughter get. I remember like having like flashbacks to like me feeling like I needed to hide in the closet because I could feel my dad like watching from the stairs, like watching me get dressed. What is true lore though? Is my mom would always tell me like growing up, like if anybody ever makes you feel uncomfortable, like you need to tell me. And I remember him coming to my room at night in his fucking gross shit stained tidy whities, and I was like, "Why the fuck? Just put clothes on. You're fucking weird." Anyway, I remember one time he was like rubbing my leg, like my thigh, my back thigh. I don't know, and I remember I literally told him I was like, "You're molesting me." So he called, which I think in the US is CPS, Child Protective
Yes.
Services. Here it's Children's Aid Society, CAS. And they did a he called CAS on himself and they came and did a home inspection. The moral of the story is this. My friend and I, my previous ex best friend, and I
Yeah.
were going to start a podcast. Um, it had two concepts. It was either going to be called Gordon, which is the name of my dad. His kisses aren't free. And it was going to be a true crime podcast where we where we investigated Ottawa area murders because we thought that he definitely like killed people and hid them in his
I
backyard.
am so dead.
Or it was going to be called We Would Never Fuck Our Dads.
We would
Because
never fuck our dads.
we would have, I don't know, we had this running joke of like, we would like go out to bars and stuff and like randomly like say to people, but like we would never fuck our dads. Like we wouldn't. Like we both had daddy issues and we had this running joke of like we would never fuck our dads. Like no, we
Like
wouldn't.
I
We
would
swear to
never like
God.
fuck my dad.
Honestly, incest jokes are like my favorite brand of humor, which brings me to my next point of really quickly, I want to see if this guy did end up messaging me because he messaged me last night or no, he messaged me last night on Raya because my Raya bio, which I've said a couple times, is fuck Mary Kill Family Edition, your mother, your dad, and your brother or sister or a cousin. And he said, fuck my dad, kill my mom, marry my sister. And I said, amazing, what's the reasoning? And he has yet to respond. Honestly, the people that want to fuck their dads are the ones who end up really being funny.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. I'm like, are you top or bottom?
Hard question.
Hard question. I feel like in order to assert dominance, if you're gonna fuck your dad, you have to be top.
I would agree.
So
in my case, dominance is already asserted. He is just a can of ashes.
you're like digging up his grave. Oh yeah, he's a can of ashes. Never mind.
Yeah, this is very true. That's fucking wild. Just Gordon. That is wild.
Yeah, he's definitely weird. And I
Weird.
remember
Also no, but definitely autistic because like to be for your kid to be like you're molesting me and then him be like hello. Like I think I'm molesting my daughter.
I don't know. Can you come
wild?
check?
Like
Can you
hear me out? If you have to
I need your
call and say
professional
that,
assessment.
I don't think you're molesting your kid.
Yeah, no, that's such autistic shit. Well, no, like, and he's definitely OCD, and I feel like it's something I've talked to you about this week, because we've been having very open and honest conversations about racism, and I've had very like obsessive thoughts with it, where it's been like ruining my fucking life.
Yeah.
And yeah, the OCD do be coming back, and I was like, I always thought that like it went away as a kid, but it definitely comes back in times of extreme stress and with losing all my followers, slay to me. It definitely she has come back, and there are things that I still do that are OCD like compulsions. I definitely always have obsessive thoughts, but one of my main compulsions, because my number is like the number 3, so I'll always lock my car 3 times. Like it's very, I don't know. When I was a kid, my thing was like I had obsessive thoughts about my mom dying, and I genuinely believe that if I didn't tap certain tiles or certain floorboards in a specific order in a specific amount of time, I thought that my mom was gonna die. So like I couldn't go anywhere without like doing a little tappity dance. Like at
Yeah.
grocery stores, people were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm just like, I'm literally just trying to ensure my mom's safety. Like, what the fuck are
I'm
you
literally
doing?
Irish jigging right now for my mother's life.
the way that I had to the way that I always consult Chat GPT, because when you were talking about snakes and um leprechauns with your mom, I was like no, like I think the leprechauns chased the snakes. And I asked Chat GPT, and Chat GPT was like, actually the story of the leprechauns chasing out the snakes is not a part of traditional Irish mythology. And I was like, oh, sorry, I guess there's no correlation.
But St. Patrick did chase all the non-native snakes out of Ireland.
No, Mr. Man did do that, but
So I think the lesson here is that my mom is just St. Patrick. I'm just kidding.
she is just
The
She said she
reincarnated
said fire,
leprechaun.
ginger. Yeah, her thing is fire. She hallucinates fire. She hallucinates leprechauns and snakes. And that is on some true. She's on her true Irish bullshit.
Facts, very much so is. And a little bit of religious psychosis. So why do you keep walking in circles?
Well,
Hello?
that was actually, I was talking to my friend last night, Mackenzie, who came over. God bless her soul. The way in which I said, she said, the fuck has been going on? I haven't seen you on Instagram. And I said, I actually lost my Instagram. And she came over. She brought me fruit and 2 boxes of Kleenex. I've never had Kleenex. I just use toilet paper. I actually just let my tears run down my face. It's very
Same.
nostalgic for me. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
Right. Like I use my sleeve,
um I do use my
my dog.
hands to wipe them off when I'm at the gym though. So I stopped going around with like I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, to be honest. I completely forgot.
Fuck. Crying. Blueberries.
Mackenzie,
Y'all were
I-
talking last night about
Irish.
why are you
It's
abusing
gone.
me?
It's gone. And this is a true representation of mental illness and our brains and previous addictions and ADHD at work, because the way that I have to edit this podcast constantly to be like, because I'll constantly forget what I'm talking about in the middle of talking about it, and I'll have to say, Shannon, can you pull me back? What the fuck was I talking about? And she always remembers.
I do be on my P's and Q's with it.
No,
I try to. Because it'd be so frustrating when I'm talking and nobody remembers what I'm talking about. And I'm like, help. And then I'm like, you just weren't even fucking listening to me.
yeah.
And then my BPD is like, they've hated me this whole time. They hate
No,
me.
it's the RSD is real though. Like, and that's the thing too. I set off RSD in a lot of people with my Instagram getting disabled, specifically my clients. One of my clients literally just, I messaged her like the day after it happened, and I'm like, hey, just to let you know, like, I didn't block you. Like, my Instagram is just like, she gone. And she was like, oh, I deadass was in my head and thought that you just decided to never want to talk to me again and block me off everything. And I was like, yeah, Sister Queen, you literally are on client calls with me, eating fucking cans of tuna, sending me like fucking selfies when you're taking shits. Like, there's no way I would ever sever this relationship. It's sacred.
Just like, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, you're
But
stuck
no,
with me.
honestly, like I thought the same thing too. Like I'd be crazy. Like I haven't seen my roommate the last like day and a half because our schedules just haven't lined up. And I'm like, she fucking hates my guts. She doesn't want to live with me anymore. Like it's
She's
just
just
because
like
our
at
schedules have
work.
not lined up.
Yeah.
Like what? But no, I thought the same thing too when when your account got deleted. I literally was like, huh. Well, I guess Shorty is gone forever. And then I was like looking up, obviously, because I was like, if I'm blocked, like her account wouldn't pull up at all. And then I saw the Tism Pump underscore, watched the story, and you were like, so it's deleted. And I literally was like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah. The way that it got deleted because I was talking about how I used to snort cocaine out of a Tampax Pearl applicator.
I think it got deleted because like I mean, I feel like I'm pretty unhinged on my Instagram. Like and I just don't have like a lot of people right now. So like I get that. But like I have literal like
Well, it's
I do
both.
have drugs on my Instagram. Like I do
Yeah.
be happily gardening on Instagram. So like for you to get taken down for that stuff, but then like other content creators are like, watch me garden before the gym.
It's yeah, I mean,
I
it's
really feel like it was just people
it's not
hating on you.
well, it's not right, but I think that it's just like a bot picked it up
Yeah.
cuz I did say cocaine, you know. I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I had people working on it for the past couple weeks trying to get it back, and I don't think it's coming back, but uh not me dissociating right now. It do be like that. I had one
Yeah.
month where I said I'm able to save money and afford to live, and Instagram said, "Actually, we want you to continue to be really mentally ill and not be able to afford basic necessities." And I said, "As you should, sister queen."
Which is just awful, you know? But I'm hoping that we're able to like build
And we
bigger and better
will.
communities just because I will say you did get like a lot of like weird ass men who don't need. Yeah, like why? My roommate
The way that
has
I the
picked up
way that
on
I
that.
appealed to so many men who just specifically replayed my reels repeatedly to jerk off to them is that's
The amount of men
crazy.
like I'll like see like us like doing something or like talking about something or you talking about something and the men will come and be like, "What the fuck? I can't jerk off to this." And I'm
You're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was your fucking cum rag."
like I don't. That's disgusting. The
No.
idea of like that's just I don't want to think about it.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that we all do it, right? Like, I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna lie. I haven't personally used social media for
I
the.
have.
I haven't.
I have. And
I
I'll
have not.
yeah, I will say I am that person. I have done it. For
But
people
that's
I
just because.
know,
Sorry. Go ahead.
well, here's the thing. If I'm like obsessed with somebody, like Limerence level obsessed, I
Yeah.
will pull up their photos. And maybe that's wrong of me, but I'm just, this is a safe space. This is an honest
This
space.
is a safe
A-
space.
And there is one person in particular who I have done the do to, uh, who is a person who is a fitness influencer. But these videos, bitch, I feel like I shouldn't be saying this, but I really don't care. Also, I think,
She's like, I feel like this might not be the thing to say right after.
well, no, it's fine. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I'm a very sexual person. I talk openly about sex on my platform. I talk about masturbating because I'd be doing it, and also I haven't been penetrated by a fucking real cock in 2 years, so I do be masturbating, and I think like some people watch porn. I watch porn, but I'm a multitasker masturbator. I watch porn, I'll be making to-do lists, I'll be answering client calls, I'll be texting friends. I'll literally be watching videos to masturbate to on Instagram while simultaneously having my porn play in the background while simultaneously having like a Flume song on repeat. Like I be doing the
Not the
most.
Flume song on repeat, bitch.
No, because actually, you know what? I'm gonna air this out. I'm gonna air this out. I've never told anybody this.
Tells the entire podcast.
I've never told anybody this, and I will tell you, and I'll tell the 11 people that listen to this podcast. I when I do masturbate to the same video. For the longest time, it was Tila Tequila Celebrity Threesome. It's changed now.
The like consistency and like what you watch is like it just makes sense.
No, because I am so fucking queer coded. Like, okay. I digress. Anyway, and it's always to the same song, and for the longest time it was Flume Wallfuck, which if you've ever listened to it, I'll just play it right now. I don't care if we get copyrighted. If you fucking hear this, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you to listen to this song on repeat while watching Tila Tequila Celebrity Lesbian Threesome?
It's a bop already. Okay, this is a little dysregulating. This
Anyway,
sounds like I'm getting fucked at the rave. But like on the floor, like in the middle of everything.
I wish I could get fucked at a rave, but I'm too autistic to go to a fucking concert.
That's the one thing. Well, never mind. I take that back. I would be too. I just partake in certain things that make me care a little less.
Yeah, and honestly, that is the thing that
That's it. It's huge, like
I need to
in that
relapse to
community
go.
too. So
But no, so now it's a different video, massage porn, and I've been switching up the songs.
I do love massage porn. That's a good one.
Oh, massage porn is great because like I find that
Just the
porn,
idea of like, yeah, that's just so nice. Like
it's really it's giving giver and it's giving like
yes,
yeah, it's like
it almost happened to me one time. I like would put money on it,
what
and
do
I
you
was
mean?
like it literally like the massager was getting a little comfortable with me, and I was like,
Honestly, uh I would
Part of
love
me
that.
thought about it for a second, and then I was like, no, 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 no. Like I literally was like, you're thinking, and I'm not. So shut the. Like I was like, you stop talking.
But
No.
wouldn't that be nice? I one time Googled, I'm like, do happy endings exist for women?
Um. Yes. Like yes, that is a thing.
Like Parlors.
I don't know if necessarily parlors, but like it's definitely. I will say from the experience I had, it's definitely a thing. Because
Like,
like the way in which like I've never like the way in which that man was very close to a lot of things.
well, that's the thing that I hate about fucking Canada is they'll never fucking massage your ass. Like, I want you to be so close to finger fucking me.
Yeah, that's kind of like how this went, and I was like, I like tensed up. I was like, where is this going? My man bought me this massage. I was like,
Well, it's a good thing y'all are fucking, or you were.
we're very poly, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. I
I
got
could never be
presented.
poly, and I could never be poly, and
Yeah,
I'm because I'm so insane when I
it's like
like a
hard as
man.
fuck, bitch. Like nobody talks about it. I get like a lot of poly like content on my Instagram, and they're like, "It's so nice to know that people do things for you just because they want to." Yeah, it's fucking nice, but it's fucking hard. And if you're with someone who doesn't communicate shit, and you're with people who aren't communicating openly and honestly, it doesn't fucking work. That's just the reality of it. Like you have to make your partners, however many there are, feel safe, secure, and like comforted, and give reassurance. Like you have to be at that place
Yeah,
already. And if you're not, it's just a fucking shit show. So that's my take on that. I
that's
do
the
not
thing.
blame you
Yeah,
at all for like feeling that way. And like, do I feel that way? Yes and no. I feel like because of my trauma in relationships, I'm very closed off to like the idea of monogamy just because I'm like, that shit has stabbed me 87 times.
yeah.
Why would I go back to that? But I'm also very much on like the wave that you're on now, which is like, fuck all of that shit. I want to be alone for the rest of my life, and I just want to live a happy life with my roommate and have very cute dogs. And
I honestly used to fuck my best friend a lot growing up. Uh, and she had great tits, and I would
love
love to
that.
have titties in my mouth again. I will not lie. When I'm bulking, I can put my own nipple into my mouth, but it's not enough.
I really can't even relate to that ever. I mean, when I was a bigger girl, yeah, but like
Yeah.
now, it's like, what reach am I getting on these suckers?
Oh, when I was fat, I could take a full Windex bottle, place it under my tit, and she would just stay
I
there.
know for a fact that you could have put like a whole crab boil pot under one titty, and it would have probably helped. Like you literally
Yeah.
like if I ever get the opportunity to get so fucking jacked that I get a new set of titties, I'm going in with you in that one like little cross tie bra, and I'm like, these the titties I want. Make them look like this. I don't care what size they are. Make them look like this. Make them. That's what I
Wait,
want.
like whose? Like mine?
Yes,
You like
you
my
literally
boobs?
have like the most perfect tits, bitch.
Thank you.
Don't even. Don't even.
No, I was
Tism
really
tits.
well, I was really insecure about them for a long time because my fucking nipples are inverted, but when I get horny, they pop out. So
Yeah. I used to be insecure
sometimes
too. That's why my nipples were pierced for
no,
like
I also have my
7
nipples
years.
pierced for that reason, but the way that they said, we actually prefer going back in, so we're gonna.
The way
What's
my
up?
nipples said, this is great for 6 fucking years, and then decided to reject during a
Why?
mold related illness.
It's always during a mold related illness, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. The mold happened to attack my nipple ring, like wound. Cause they never heal technically.
Do they never heal?
Technically, no.
I feel like Bretman Rock's nipple piercing has healed beautifully.
Well, like heal as in a sense of like your body always perceives it as an open wound because it's not supposed to have a hole there. So your body perceives the nipple ring forever as a foreign object. And that's what leads to the rejection. So either sometimes your body perceives it as a foreign object and you just get like lymph and you have to clean them every couple of days and it's just like regular, like your body is cleansing something that thinks it's a foreign object, or your body like decides to reject it and it's like, get this shit out or I'm pushing it out for you, bitch.
Yeah. No,
And yeah,
I I hate piercings that reject. I've had so many. Like
and
my
honestly,
fucking my nape got rejected. My sorry, there's literally just like insane sirens.
Do you have celiacs or just gluten intolerance?
So I thought it was just gluten intolerance, but my friend, the Miss Beautiful Ginger Girl who loves Jesus and
Yes.
who we went on a walk with, um, she's celiac, and she was like, "Girl, you're fucking celiac." Because
Yeah.
the thing is I got tested for it a few years ago, and it did not, like 4 years ago, and it came back as nothing. But honestly, like for me to have the reaction of having gluten like 3 times and then for 2 months to be very sick, very
Yeah.
tired, very weak, in extreme pain, like it's not normal. And I had a moment, because usually like maybe like once a month, once every couple months, like I'll go out and have brunch, or like I'll
Yeah.
go get gluten.
Yeah.
And my friend died and I moved and all this shit was happening, so I had gluten 3 or 4 times. Like I
Yeah.
had like a whole pizza like level gluten,
Yeah.
and I just was like, it was affecting me so much. I was waking up every day and it felt like I had trained for like 10 hours the day previous. Like
Yeah.
my whole body hurt so much. And I realized that like it just wasn't worth it anymore. And my mom's coming, and usually when she comes, like we go to restaurants and we
Yeah.
like, vibe and hang out and shit. I'm so excited to see her. And I realized that like it's just not worth it. Like I need to
Mm-mm.
stop being so dumb about my fucking gluten intolerance or my
Yeah.
celiac or whatever the fuck it is, because like it really negatively impacts my training.
Yeah.
And I, at the end of the day, I want to be a muscle mommy. And I think that my knee problems are probably not as bad as they are. Like we talked about this the other night on the phone. Like I do know that my weak glutes definitely impact my knee pain, but I also think that like a big part of my knee pain is actually just
Inflammation.
really like knee inflammation from the fact that I'm consuming gluten.
Well, I asked because not for nothing, like there's a direct link between like skin issues and autoimmune issues and celiac. So if you are someone who like your body likes to reject jewelry, right? Like
Oh,
randomly at any time, no matter what kind of piercing it is, stainless steel, like no matter what you put in that hole and it rejects, that's a key indicator that like you have like autoimmune issues, like your immune system isn't regulating properly.
I
And
don't want
on
it.
top of that, like if you have eczema or any kind of autoimmune asthma, like eczema and asthma combo is like a huge pinpoint to celiacs.
No, I don't
So,
have. I'm not. I will. I nope. I don't need another fucking issue, bitch. Because the way that I definitely have undiagnosed CPTSD, the way that I definitely still have fucking OCD, I don't need another thing wrong with me.
but I will say too, like if it makes you feel better, like I think you're not the only one who has like intolerances or like ways that they're supposed to be
Yeah.
eating, and it's really hard to like not, right? Because like same thing with my fat malabsorption. I do the same shit. And
Oh,
I'm dying for days on end. And I'm
yeah.
like, what is the point? I just want to kill myself even more now.
Well, like fucking, it's just hard because
It's in
gluten-free
everything.
shit tastes disgusting, dude. Like
Mhm. And
I
gluten
w-
is like in everything at this point. Same thing, obviously, with fat. Like it's just
so
in everything.
yeah, and I did not realize that gluten is not just wheat, it's also rye, barley, and malt.
Yes.
I didn't know that. My friend Miss Lily Girl, the ginger who loves Jesus, and her mom too. I don't know why I said that. I think it's a song. It's like she loves Jesus and her boyfriend too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is. That's a Tom Petty song.
Yeah, something like that. Free falling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm free. Bust out in the song. Welcome to the anti-filter musical, bitch.
You know what? When I was younger, my dad put me in singing lessons.
I was
Okay.
also a singer.
Let me set the scene for you. Okay. I had a recital in front of like 400 people.
Oh,
I got up there with my little pink and white DC shoes.
facts.
Okay, with little pink capris and a little pink or white top. And I said, I'm gonna sing Cher, It's in His Kiss. And my guy in front of 400 people. And I did. And when I sang Cher, It's in His Kiss, like, I did that.
Hmm.
9 years old. My mom comes up to me afterward. She says to me verbatim, that was fucking horrible. You should never sing again.
That's terrible.
No, because Susan was real for that, and I'll explain why. I'm tone deaf. First of all. Second of all, she prevented me from being one of those bitches who goes on fucking American Idol who's like, I don't understand. Every single person in my city of 132 people told me that I could sing. And thank God she did it because I can't sing. I can't. I'm horrible. She says, honestly, with age, you've gotten a lot better. You're a way better singer than you were when you were fucking 9. And that's on she practices.
And that's on shower practice.
And that's on shower practice, that's on car practice. I remember when I first got my car, the one reason why I really desperately wanted a car was so that I could sing the acoustic version of As Long as You Love Me by Justin Bieber while driving. The grass ain't always green on the other side. It's green where you water it, but I know.
Busting out in song is wild.
I said, let me grace you with
Let
my
me
musical
bless your
ability.
ears today.
You're gonna clean your dog's ears?
No, I said, let me bless your ears today.
Oh.
Girl, no.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, that's an interesting segue. No.
I was in
Yeah,
like
so
choir, like from
so
like
like
kindergarten to like fifth grade choir. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
I
I
did
went to
choir too, and the
yeah.
way in which we sang Voix Sultan Chemin, and it was really haunting. Actually, that is I have two songs of my Please Stop Ticking Bitch playlist. And it's Voix Sultan Chemin by Les Choristes and the you're gonna laugh at this. The corn song where the kid it's like that kid where he goes,
Corn.
it's corn, the big lump with knobs, it has the juice.
It has the juice. Anytime I see you posting up with corn on like Instagram, that's always what be playing in the back of my head. And then I also like will see the screenshots of you like just with like a whole cob in your mouth, and I'm like, is this what's on the passes?
Well, no, because the way that I have like corn in my mouth and it's violent looking, it's like I'm violently sucking a dick. I
Yes,
That's one thing I
that's
do
someone's
need to put on
playlist,
the
right?
grid. Huh?
Someone made it their playlist, right?
Someone made it their playlist, but it's actually all of my playlists. Like if you look here,
Huh. I'm so dead.
every playlist that I've
You
created on Spotify is a different photo of me with corn.
Hey, what are you eating? Can you
If you're listening on Spotify, you don't get to see this, but there
that
are lots
is
of album covers of me with corn.
so do you like make those album covers yourself?
Well, they weren't like I didn't make them like to be album covers. They were just photos, but I do have a corn uh photo album in my phone and I
I
was
love
like,
that.
yeah. So my mom is very excited. She specifically came for corn season.
Okay, wait. Do they not does she not have corn?
So I will say this, in Mexico, specifically where she lives in Ecuador though, uh their corn is like we have like genetically modified corn where shit tastes good. It's like sweet corn and all the kernels do be corning.
Bussin'.
Um they be popping. But the corn where she lives is like fucking prehistoric dinosaur times corn, so it's not good. And the cheese where she lives also sucks dick. There's no good cheese. It's actually one of the top 3 reasons why I moved back to Canada. The first reason was because I wanted to get married and have kids. Don't want that anymore. The second reason was because I love Ontario tap water. That shit's tasty as hell. And the third reason was because I wanted cheese again.
Do they not have good cheese out there?
They did not, and honestly,
That really like baffles me, to be honest.
it was rough, but they do have very good gluten-free bagels, but Matthew's Bagels in Cuenca is closing down, which reminds me, I'm going to text my mom and be like, by the way, please remember to bring me gluten-free bagels. Matthew's Bagels, please don't forget.
I love you. Mm,
She's like, you fucking cunt.
wow.
She always brings back cheese with her.
I love that.
Yeah, she goes and she's like, I'm going to get some bricks from Costco, and she brings them back, and I'll be like FaceTiming with her and I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, I'm having a little slice of my Costco cheese. And I'm just like, it's been a year. She's like, she has to like ration it. She's been on like the same Costco brick for an entire year.
That is wild. That is
That's
wild.
sad.
I
That's
didn't think
sad.
about that though, like, because like y'all are basically like a whole ass international family.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much just us. Like the rest of my family, they're cunts. It's so funny.
Well, yeah.
Um, someone came out. I was like, they stole this from me. You know, like the cameras that are always watching you and listening to you in your life.
Yeah.
Someone heard me talking about this years ago, and they said we're stealing that. But um, there are certain people who are not allowed at my funeral, and one of them is my aunt. Honestly, the only person who's not allowed at my funeral is my aunt, and I've stressed this so many times because I think we all go through those moments where we're afraid of dying, and I'll talk to my mom about it, and I'll be like, I just wanted to reiterate, Diane, Auntie Diane, she's in my name as Auntie Cunt, which is not fitting, but like auntie, like as in my aunt. Anyway,
Yes.
she's not allowed at my funeral.
I
I
love that.
told my mom, I was like, I don't care what you have to do. She's not allowed in.
I personally like. There's so many family members that would not be invited to my funeral, and if I found out that they came, best
Oh,
believe I would make it my afterlife's mission to make your life a living hell.
yeah.
Like especially because my family is all about like, well, it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like if someone passed away and like y'all were beefing for the last 20 years, right? But that's your like cousin or who the fuck ever.
Yeah.
They're like, it's the right thing to do to go. And I'm like, no. It's disrespectful. I haven't talked to that bitch in how long? Nah, I'm gonna just let it be.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the way that
The way in which I feel like that is so selfish.
no, it's selfish, and it's I feel like my fucking aunt would just have these really performative fucking tears. But really she's just a fucking cunt. Like I actually hate her so much.
You know?
The the way that like I don't know if I ever told you this, but like when I first got sober, that's when I started modeling again for the second time. And my aunt and uncle live in Toronto on like Bloor Street West. Well, not that you would fucking know. It doesn't really matter the fucking geographical location. Anyway, I go there to like I'm going to Toronto for Toronto Fashion Week.
Yeah.
And I go there and I leave at like 7 in the morning from Ottawa. I arrive whenever the fuck I arrive at like 1. I make my way over to the photo shoot at 3 o'clock. And for 2 hours, I'm waiting around for them to finish up the previous shoot. And we shoot from like 5 till around 8 o'clock. And I was supposed to go to my aunt and uncle's house for dinner after the shoot. It just so happened in this fucking giant ass city that it was like 2 blocks away from where they lived. And I have, my fucking Sasquatch feet. I have like size 11 feet. They're fucking huge. Like I wear size 12. Well, sorry, size 12. I wear size 10 men's. So, but at the time I was also 19, and apparently my feet just said, "We're actually going to keep growing." But at that point, my feet were like size 11,
Yeah.
and I was in like size 7, size 8 shoes, like squeezing my feet into these tiny fucking heels. So, and I'm also in early sobriety. Like I was only sober for a couple months at that point. And my aunt, when she talks, she's got this screechy fucking nasally cunt voice where she goes, "Ow, Allison, ah." Anyway,
This is like a pterodactyl,
oh,
bro.
she is pterodactyling. She is a fucking cunt. Anyway, so I text her and my uncle like during the shoot, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm really tired. Like, I can't make it." And they said, "Well, we're like dinner, we've been cooking it, so I feel bad." So I get there, I go, she opens the door, her screechy fucking cunt voice, and she goes, "Allison, Hey, she's such a fake performative ass bitch. Fuck her. I get there, guess what? They're like, oh, we have to start cooking dinner. I'm like, okay, so it's giving lying liar. So I have a mental breakdown because I'm fucking upset because I didn't want to fucking be there. I'm all fucked up. I'm freshly sober. I've been awake since fucking. Why the fuck is my computer not charging? I've been awake for too long.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to pull me back because I will forget. I'm remembering.
She says, I'm just chanting it in my head over and
I
over and over
am, I
again.
am chanting it. I'm like Aunt and Uncle Toronto. So I'm there. I'm trying to pull myself back. Anyway, so I'm there and I start breaking down because I hear her screechy cunt voice. The dinner's not made. I don't want to spend longer there than I have to. So they end up driving me to my friend's house who I stayed with, who literally had scabies.
Isn't that a vitamin C deficiency?
No, it's like I don't know. It's
Vitamin
like
D?
I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, I was sharing towels with him, so I almost got scabies during Toronto Fashion Week, which means I wouldn't be able to fucking do any of the shows. I
Fuck
digress.
scabies.
Fuck scabies and fuck you, Eric. Anyway, so the next morning, because I had like a full mental breakdown in front of them. Honestly, it was probably just an autistic meltdown. A combination of the two. What is what? We'll never know. So I got a call from my mom the next morning and she said, "Are you okay?" And I knew this was gonna happen. And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "I got this long email from Brent and Diane, my aunt and uncle, cunts, cunt one and cunt two, saying that you were anorexic. First of all, thank you for the compliment because I am a model. So I'm supposed to look like I'm a fucking speck of dust floating away in the wind. Thank you so much. And that you've relapsed and you're back on drugs." And I was like, okay. So definitely didn't do that. They're just horrible. But what I will say is I do like to read, all right, sorry, I do like to write strongly worded letters, and I was really going to give him a fucking piece of my mind. And I did not do that. I waited for an entire year. I said, I'm going to wait and I'm going to get them back. And I did. At their son's wedding, at the end of the night, at this point, I had been sober for almost a year.
Mm.
And at the end of the night, everybody's drunk. They're dancing. They're standing beside me. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, "Do you want a piece of cake?" And I look at them dead ass and I say, "No, I actually don't want cake because, first of all, I have an eating disorder. I'm anorexic, so I'm starving myself, and I'm also not hungry from all the drugs that I'm doing." And their fucking jaws just dropped to their floor. And guess who drove them home that night because they were too drunk to drive? Me.
Yep.
And that's what that is.
Yikes. Have you talked to them since that?
I have, and my mom is so funny because we're going to Toronto and they are there, and she's like, "I don't want to see them, so I'm not telling them that we're coming." But she's like, "My cousin is dying of cancer," so she was like, she said, sorry, I know we laugh at inappropriate
Yeah.
times. She said, well, she is dying of cancer, so I guess I should see her because I don't know if it'll be the last time.
Is that your like cunty aunt or is that somebody else?
No, it's somebody else.
Okay.
She's very like Bible thumping, and she I can't even say this on the podcast. It's too bad, but like I can't have this digital footprint, but I will say it anyway. So like a few years ago, it's not funny. Like 10 years ago, she had it's not funny. I laugh at the wrong times. She had a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
And
damn.
she was really like she was in a coma for months, and I think we all get like this idea of what people look like in comas from Grey's Anatomy because it makes us all doctors and we all think that when people are in comas they actually just look the same and they have makeup on and their hair is good and they're like cutesy. And it's not like that in real life.
No.
And we went to see her and she did I don't know if she went blind in one eye or her vision was kind of lost, but because of that, she wore an eye patch. But she wore it on the wrong eye. She wore it on the like cuz I guess she didn't want people to like see that her eye was like wonky. But like if one eye is covered, you can't tell. But she
Yeah.
needed to put it on the good eye so that it would force her eye to start working again. Like it's like kind of like retraining a muscle, I guess.
Yeah.
But she wore the eye patch on the wrong eye. So like she still wears an eye patch till this day because she's insecure about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But like anyway, all I will say
It's
is
wild.
that my mom and I are fucking haunted individuals and we need to be put in a sane asylum. I almost went to a psych ward last week, but I didn't. And
You know, not for nothing. I don't know what it's like out there, but I'm kind of glad you didn't go because I feel like it might have made things worse.
well, it's interesting because I was told that psych wards can uh uh exacerbate things for BPD girlies.
Yeah.
Not just girlies, the girls, the gays, the theys, but also cis men, for
Yeah.
people in general. I think we're getting really tired because we were on FaceTime for like an hour and then we decided randomly to record this. So
I will also say I have not eaten breakfast yet, so
I I'm
I
fucking hungry
have,
too.
let's see here, 19 grams of carbs in my system.
No, and that's not enough.
No protein, no nothing.
No, it's
Um, but I lost everything that I was just saying.
it's okay. I think that this is it. I think that we're done, right? But I think that
I'm
this
down.
was so here's the thing. Like Shannon and I want to continue to talk about the shit that we normally talk about, but we also just want this podcast to be like funny too, but talk about important shit. So like we wanted to kind of for this episode because last one was so heavy to kind of just have like a little fun cutesy little episode. um I don't know what we're going to be doing for the next week, but I think it will be quite interesting because I'm pretty sure my mom will join us.
I'm so excited.
And she is like me, but way like I am unhinged, but she's also very unhinged.
I'm
Like
so excited.
she'll talk about blumpkins. Like
What is that?
a blumpkin is when you are giving head to someone who's taking a shit.
That's wild.
She's never
I
done
don't know
it,
if
but
I
I
could.
did
I
tell her
could not
about
do
it.
the smell.
Oh, I could never. I would be throwing up all over your dick and then it would be horrible.
Ugh.
Someone told me like I forget it was like on passes and they were talking to me and they were like, "Have you ever had or do you like this?" And I forget what the idea was. I think it was like getting your ass eaten. And the way that whenever somebody's like, "Oh, like in the past people have been like, "Oh, do you like having your ass eaten or can I eat your ass?" And I'm always like, "Well, I'll shit in your mouth." I think that would be I don't want to shit in your mouth, but I think that that would be my like sphincter's response. Like I'd be like, "What is
You've
that?"
never had your ass eaten?
I've never had my ass eaten,
Hmm.
but I think yeah, I think like it was licked around that area, but also like, there is a pretty big distance between my ass and my pussy hole because I'm so tall. I think that's what that is.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
mean,
different for everyone.
I think it is, and that's the beauty of all women. All pussies are all people of
I was
all.
gonna say it is different for men too.
Yeah, it is. It's called the runway. What's the thing between the dick and the asshole? The coffee
The tank.
table.
The tank.
I'm quoting weeds. Yeah, I
Is it
actually
tank?
what one thing I will say before we go is if infection weren't an issue, one thing that I've always wanted to get tattooed is taint tattooed on my taint, all in lowercase century Gothic
That
font.
also sounds so painful.
I think the thing is that I just think it's so funny. That's why I
No.
wanted to get it.
What if you got it tattooed or just on your lip?
No, I think the reason why I wanted to get it is because, and the thing is I don't really do one night stands, but I really wanted to like have sex with someone and then they like go to like insert their dick in me and they look down and it just says taint. I think that would be so funny.
I could see that. I could see that. But I feel like it's like giving how all the people who have the tattoos they're like eat me, like give. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think that that's, I think, I don't think, I don't think that that's. I think that this is actually, and this is where you'll think I'm a fucking narcissist. I think that that is top tier level humor that the eat me pussy tattoo bitches could never.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I feel like that like that's like what they like
That's what they
that
think that they're doing, but they're not.
correct. Thank you. I could not get the fucking word that in my
Because
face.
they actually want their pussy eaten. I don't. Don't go near me. Don't touch me. Stay
I
the
just
fuck
want you to
away
make
from me.
direct eye contact and read my taint that says taint.
Yeah, just
That's
literally
it.
just stare at my taint lovingly. And that's it. Like just stare into the abyss.
Adore my taint. If you're
Adore my
interested,
taint.
you can reach me at 919. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you know what's really funny? Okay, I need to say this and then I need to get the fuck off. Um so I do have a choker. Like a sex choker.
Like a necklace or like
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 a
a
necklace.
BDSM. Okay.
Like a necklace for BDSM shit.
Okay, great. Okay.
And
Go.
I did get a dog tag on it. I was telling somebody on passes about my lore because sometimes I just talk to people on there.
Yeah.
And I was saying how I did have a choker and I got a dog tag made for it. But when I went to go get it, like, because one side says fucking whore and the other side says little slut, and it's a little heart with rhinestones around the edges. And when I went to go get it done, I went to Pet Value. Fuck you, Pet Value, because you don't have a DIY tag system. So when I went there to get it done, they were like, yeah, you have to write down what you want it to say. And I said, I'm going to wait till I go to PetSmart and I can DIY this. But it brings me back to when I was a child, my mom and I were at a craft fair and there were like dog tags there. And she got me one that was also a pink heart for a choker. And it said on it, Alley Cat, which was my nickname as a child. Thank God none of my passwords have that anymore. It said Alley.
Just racking your brain like okay.
It said on it. It said on it, Alley Cat 1-800 Pet Me I Purr as a child. And when I tell you that that's not the only crazy shit that my mom bought for me when I was
Pet Me I'm Purr is fucking wild, bitch.
no, because my mom also bought me a shirt, and at the time, like I was so skinny as a child. My mom and I used to go to Stitches and go shopping all the time when we went to like visit her fucking murder boyfriend in a maximum security prison. And one of the times we went there, we saw this shirt that said in giant chrome letters "skinny bitch," and she bought it for me. And I went to a fucking Catholic school that like sometimes I think like once a month had like you can wear not your uniform. And the way I went to school at fucking 12, when everybody hated me, everybody bullied the fuck out of me, and I said, fuck all y'all. And I wore a shirt that said skinny bitch on it in giant chrome letters. And I was like, you bitches could never. And that's what I did. That's going to get clipped. That whole fucking run on sentence is going to get clipped.
Alley Cat really got me. That Pet Me I Purr is just fucking.
No, my mom was so like, you're going to love her. She's so unhinged.
Oh, God. I'm so excited, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what the fuck we talked about. We covered J.K. Rowling being a transphobic and her dying of fucking mold ingestion unknowingly, although her walls are very much black. We talked about Shannon's mother pushing her out of a car as she should, as she must, as she will, because she is protecting her from the demons. And
the demon is just me.
the demon is you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Oh yeah, if you have 20 seconds, hit the 3 dots at the top, scroll down, give us a 5-star rating. It helps the podcast out to get to more than the 6 of you who do listen to this religiously, if there are that many. And we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Slay.
Or who knows what we're going to talk about.
Who knows what we're going to talk about, but honestly, I really did like this episode. I feel like it's the kind of shit that I do want to make.
Yeah.
So, slay to us. I love you, and maybe I'll FaceTime you while we're making breakfast. I don't fucking know.
I'm down for that.
All right, love you, bitch.
Anyways.
Not me ending this like it's a FaceTime call.
Yeah, I was going to say, love you guys too.
I'm like, love you, bitch. I'm like, also, Bye, guys. Have a great
Also,
day.
bye, guys.
We love you too. We love you, listeners. And we'll see you next week, bitch.